There's no more smoke ups, no report cards, and so all of that is now in the past. So I am joined by the beautiful and wonderful Miss Lana Burton, and another powerhouse within our community that is making strides and changes, at times in a silent manner, but very powerful in her own right. That is Miss Dr. Howard. So welcome, ladies, so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you. So, National African American Parent Involvement Day. Let's talk about that, Miss Burton.
Okay, this event began in 1995, and it was started by Joseph Doolin, who is a native of Evansville, Indiana. He's a 1953 graduate of Modern Day High School, and went on and became principal of alternative school in Ypsilanti, Michigan, Roberto Clemente High School. And one of the things that he did after the Million Man March, he came back to Michigan and wanted to do something and had a call for action. And it was to get more parents involved in their children's education. And I wanted to read one of his quotes. He said that every parent wants their child to have a better quality of life than they themselves had. It is the American dream, and for many African Americans, this dream has not been realized as a result of their child's failure in school. Education is the key to success, and parents are educators' greatest allies. Well, with this being the 25th anniversary, and we had tried to do this event in Evansville a couple times over the years, and this year, Zion Baptist Church, as I'm chairman of the Christian Education Department, we decided that we wanted to do something for our parents because we saw a need of connecting our parents to the educational system, and just some of the things that young people are going through today, just our concerns of some of our young people getting killed, some of them committing suicide, some of them being put out of school, being, at the alternative schools, some of them just not doing well in school at all. So we felt a need in just getting parents involved, and so we kind of started with the National African American Parent Involvement Day. And one day, as I was coming back from volunteering from the toy drive that Courtney Johnson had, I ran into Joy, and we got to talking about NAPIT, the National African American Parent Involvement Day. And so I was telling her about it, and she does We Are the Children. I know it's not the right name.
And How Are the
Children. And so we got to talking, and so at that point in time, we decided that we were going to collaborate and pull this event together. And so I'm going to turn it over and let Joy kind of talk about from there how all this came about.
Yeah, so the work that I've been doing in collaboration with many folks and heroes and sheroes of our community really started with the Commission on the Social Status of African American Males, and really looking at this, what's often referred to as the school to prison pipeline, and really localizing some of that work and saying, what are the realities that we're facing here in Evansville?
Yes.
And so that has been going on for several years, really looking at the realities, and then getting folks together and saying, okay, we know that there are significant, problems and challenges, many of which Lana just mentioned. And so how can we all be a part of positive change? And How Are the Children has emerged as a network to be responsive to, how do we emphasize parent involvement? What does that look like? How do we emphasize mentorship? What does that look like in really strategic ways? What does community investment look like? And Melissa, you're leading that charge. And the policy and funding aspect, and looking at police and schools, and so how do we work together in an organized fashion and show up for the children of this community?
And that clearly goes into the flyer. I have seen the flyer circulate on social media, emails, and the one thing that truly resonates with me, listening audience, if you go on the website and you see the flyer, it is a family sitting down at dinner. And what better way to bring the community together, and that's with food. It's a common love for everyone, regardless of what you like, of what you don't like. But I do believe that a lot of times food brings that conversation out, whether good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, you know. And so what better way to do this? And I did not even know that there was such a day until, you know, having a meeting and like, oh my goodness, National African American Parent Involvement Day. That's a powerful, it's a powerful day. And it's something that can truly, if we stay to it, and I say we collectively, not as a community, but just as families, because it's about going back, getting the others, letting them see that this is what it's about, because it starts at home. And as you stated, Ms. Burton, especially you being a former educator, that I know times have truly changed, but the situations haven't. Unfortunately, just have become worse, if you will. Same problems, just a bigger magnitude now of the problems. I do believe back then you had more parent involvement, whether it was single parents or a two-parent household, but you still had parents involved. You had the community involved, and now it's time to blow that whistle. And like, hey, we're having organizations like this, we're having days like this, we're having community forums like this, partnerships like this are being brought together, bridges are being mended to do this, to heal families, because our children are hurting. They're not passing, they're hurting, they're failing, and unfortunately, and I say we collectively, not an indictment on anyone, we're failing them. So what better way to recognize such a wonderful and powerful day, and then during Black History Month, that, I mean, a little known Black history fact, this gentleman was from Evansville, Indiana. Amazing. I did not even know that. So what can we expect real quick before we go to a third commercial break of the hour? What can we expect real quick on this day? When is it actually?
It's Monday, February the 10th at Zion Baptist Church, and it'll begin at 5 o'clock to 7, and we will have dinner. And there is a cost for the dinner of $8 a person, but if families want to come and they don't have resources, we do have people who have sponsored people, and so we will be glad to have people come in. And I know Joy said, Joy likes to be to the number and stuff, and I'm kind of like, well, come on, I'm that global person, and then after being in families and stuff, and I know we have food, and caterers probably going nuts as I'm sitting here talking and saying this too, but you know how old people, when we have somebody to come over, put a little water extra in, and you'll stretch it some kind of way, and so we'll do that. Thinking of times as a parent when had those teenage boys to come over to the house and only had dinner for whatever. As parents, we just eat a little less, and we feed the kids.
That's true. That is so true. So Monday, February 10th. 5 to 7 p.m. at Zion Missionary Baptist Church, 1800 South Governor Street, right here in our wonderful city of Evansville. And it's a collaboration between Zion Missionary Baptist Church and hashtag, and how are the children of Evansville. So we are going to take a next commercial break, and we'll be right back. This is Melissa with Community Chat.
I have a dream that one day
Thank you,
this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created.
Absolutely.
For tickets, absolutely. Martin Luther King Jr. Florida Scholarship Banquet on Saturday, February the 8th, 6 o'clock p.m. at the Old National Events Plaza. Tickets are only $35 per person. Keynote speaker is Ted Wallace Kennedy, the daughter of Georgia Governor George Wallace, who was labeled by Dr. King in 1965 as perhaps the most dangerous racist in America today. Tickets are on sale at Liberty Baptist Church, Rita and Todd Fashion, the Evansville African
Right,
American.
okay, and that was exactly
because that's what I wanted.
Saturday, February the 8th, 6 p.m. at the Old National Events Plaza for the 5th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Scholarship Banquet.
Okay. So I'll do that. Okay, thank you.
By German American. This segment features market commentaries and insights, as well as interviews with many experienced and well-known guests from all corners of the
Real quick,
investment
after
world.
we
Each day will provide you with
anyone,
easy to
anything else you
understand
want to
Yeah, I
say?
don't think we should mention about the,
as
definitely like the idea is to bring your whole family,
Okay.
and like there's something for everyone.
Okay, okay, and then you can still talk about and how I but I will also make a note that your community fights back, keeping you in the know with what's now, what's new, and what's next.
Consistently and accurately
Thanks.
reporting and transparency information on
See
air
what you did there.
and online, and eliminating all resources to deliver the most up-to-date news, weather, and sports.
Yeah, she thinks she's listening because she's coming. I'm gonna get her, and I'm gonna bring her to the teachers too. I have some for you, because I like them. Yeah.
I'm a college student.
Sorry, I need to make them, because I can't empty-handed.
I had to leave school and go to work.
That was so
Now
bad.
I have to pay back student loans for a degree I don't have.
But I was running this one day.
I found this
And the Monopoly game was
Miss Monopoly.
We're gonna have
Yes.
to have a
I have a
redo.
older version of Monopoly. Oh my God.
For real?
I was so excited this birthday. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yes. And she breaks the glass ceiling of Monopoly too.
A nonprofit organization, member
I love
offices,
it. I love it.
that provide comprehensive financial reviews and student loan counseling. NFCC certified consumer credit counselors provide one-on-one financial counseling and can help you evaluate options for making student loan payments, reducing interest, debt consolidation, or even loan rehabilitation. Call 877-406-6322 or visit us online at studentloanhelp.org.
You're listening to Community Chat, right here on 98.5 FM and 1400 AM. Phone lines are still open for you to chat, so give us a call at 424-1400 or 1-888-846-7867. And now, back to the show.
If you're walking down the right path and you're willing to keep walking, eventually you'll make progress. And that is a quote by our former president, President Barack Obama, which I think truly makes a resonance of what is happening on Monday. We're walking and we will be making progress on this. And I say we collectively, because this is a community effort. A community effort means everyone. A community effort means you talk about no child left behind. We're not leaving anyone behind. So we're asking the community to come out on Monday, February 10th, 2020 from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. to come out and celebrate the National African American Parent Involvement Day, which will be at Zion Missionary Baptist Church, 1800 South Governor Street, here in our wonderful city of Evansville. It is a collaboration between Zion Missionary Baptist Church and hashtag And How Are the Children Evansville. So real quick, Dr. Howard, what can we expect? Just a brief synopsis of what we can expect on Monday evening.
Well, definitely some good food.
Yes.
Which is high interest to all of us. But in addition to that, Lynn and I have been working on some different activities and games that are family friendly, that are purposely making an effort to involve the children themselves as active participants, and getting out and networking with amazing community members who will be in the room. So get to know you activities, as well as Black History games and interactive games and door prizes as well, and good conversation from our group and How Are the Children. There will be facilitators at each table to kind of keep us going and focused in a really relaxed environment, but there to explain the games that children can play.
And listening audience, you do not want to miss this event. And of course, I know sometimes if we have not budgeted for something, we just don't go. So what we are going to do is for the first 2 callers to call in, you will be given tickets for this wonderful event on Monday. So of course the phone lines are open. 812-424-1400 is the telephone number. We are going to be taking the first 2 callers to call in, because we want everyone to be a part of this. And for $8, even if you do have the funds, let's just keep it real, $8, you cannot go to any restaurant here in town anymore to get a full course meal. And I do believe that we have a caller at this present time. And the tickets are for the entire family. Caller, good morning. Well, while we are getting that set up, I know I am personally looking forward to this. And while we are waiting for the caller, if you want to go ahead and give a shout out to your sponsors, because we do know that a lot of things cannot happen for big, wonderful events like this unless of your sponsors. Ms. Burton.
Okay, we'd like to thank Church of the Harvest, the Evansville-Vandenberg School Corporation, YMCA, Friends of Melissa Moore, HMR Enterprises, Progressive Holy Temple, Sharon Gieselman, University of Southern Indiana, Wangaris, Leonard Collins, and we always are open to adding any more sponsors at this late date.
Yes.
Because we want this to be an event for the families.
Wonderful.
And again, as an educator, and we talk about parent involvement, one of the things we want parents to remember that your involvement may be just making sure that your children are getting their assignments done, that they're turning things in, that they're going to class prepared with the things that they need. Sometimes we think that parent involvement means I have to go to this meeting, I have to do this, I have to do that, and we know times get busy. The main thing that, as an educator from a parent, that I always wanted was to make sure that your child knew that they were at school to learn and that they needed to do their personal best. Their personal best some days may be a C, it may be today, they may not understand something. But if they don't understand something, then raise your hand or tell somebody so they can help you. So again, with parent involvement, we want you to know that education, your children to know that education is important.
Wonderful. Caller, are you in the air?
Hello.
Good morning. Hello, how are you? I'm well. Thank you so much for calling in. And so I can assume that this call is either for a statement or for a ticket. Take your pick. Wonderful. So thank you so much for calling. What we will do is get your information and we will leave the tickets here at the station. The station is open from 9 to 5 o'clock, Monday through Friday. So if you find yourself coming during the lunch hour, there is always someone manning the desk here. So please leave you.
Yeah. We'll just leave them at the will call.
We'll leave them at the will call at the church.
Hello.
Yes, we will leave them at the will call at the church.
Okay.
Okay?
We'll call it at a place that's sooner.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And again, please remember it is for your entire family. And just give your name to the engineer and he'll get all the information from you, okay?
How many guests do I bring it to?
Your
family.
Your family.
So as many as you want to bring.
How many is in your household?
Oh,
Okay, thank you so much. You have a wonderful day. We look forward to meeting with you and talking with you.
thank you. What's your name?
My name is Melissa.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. And that's what it is. And that's what it's about. Ms. Burton, you said something before we took the call, and I commend you for this, because not only do you identify yourself as an educator, but as a parent as well. And people do not realize that as a parent, how much that truly means, because you can take yourself out of that equation and identify, because before she was Miss Burton, before she was Alex's mom, she was, before she was that teacher, she was a parent. And so she can identify the roles, because there are many roles and hats that an educator, especially if he or she is a parent, that they have to wear. And so they can identify with a child coming to school without any breakfast, with the same pants on from last week. Heaven forbid it still has the dirt stains on their knees. And kids, the bullying issues, they can identify and see, well, hey, they are wearing the same uniform from last week. So the issues, again, that the children now are facing, different issues, but the same weight, if you will. And so I appreciate hearing you say that. Again, I'm not saying that there are a lot of educators that do not identify that, but to publicly identify that there is a need from being an educator to being a parent. So I thank you for making that statement, because that was truly a profound statement, and I think that puts a lot of parents' mind at ease, that when they hear an educator say that, even if you are a former educator, because you'll always be one of our teachers, Ms. Burton. You will always be that teacher, that principal, the one that had you talking about busting a glass ceiling. And that's what it's about. That is what it's about, not only during Black History, but celebrating the ones that came before us, to make it matter for times like this. You know, so thank you for what you have done and what you are doing and what you are continuing to do. So we are needing one more caller to fill that spot, to fill that table. The number is 812-424-1400. Again, if you do call, instead of coming down to the station on Monday, the tickets will be available at Zion Missionary Baptist Church, which is at 1800 South Governor Street. The event is Monday, February 10th, 2012, from 2020, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And while we are waiting on the next caller, real quick, I know that this is in collaboration with hashtag #How Are the Children of Evansville. Briefly talk about that, Dr. Howard, because I do know at a later date, sometime this year, we will be having your community focus group here at the station.
Yeah, and so and How Are the Children really has come from work within the community, from multiple organizations, really looking at how do we create a better community for children of African descent, specifically in Evansville. And a team of leaders came together, and we really established the hashtag and How Are the Children, and that was largely inspired by my mentor, Dr. Gloria Boutte, who has the Center for the Education and Equity of African American Students out of the University of South Carolina. And and How Are the Children is a translation of a greeting from the Maasai warriors, where instead of saying hello or how are you, they greet each other by saying, and how are the children? And that greeting really signifying, if the children are well, then we are all well.
Wow.
But if the children are not well, then we are not, and we have work to do.
Yes.
And so now that we know some of the statistics, now that we've heard the stories of real lives within our community of children and families who are in tragic situations, or who are failing in schools or being failed within the schools, and facing impossible situations, we have to ask, and how are the children? And how can we get to the point where it becomes possible for them to be well educated?
Wonderful. Caller?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm glad.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for calling. You are the second winner of this wonderful giveaway, if you will. So we are asking, I don't know if you heard just prior, a couple minutes ago, tickets will be available for you to pick up at Zion Missionary Baptist Church, located at 1800 South Governor, right here in our city. The event is from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Monday. So we are just asking you to bring your family, your friend. Family is however many people you have in your house. That is your family. So we are asking that you come out, enjoy the time together as family, eat dinner and learn from one another, because you come singular as a family, if you will, but we're going to leave collectively together, all of us as distant cousins on our daddy's side. So we thank you so much. Thank you. So we look forward to meeting with you. And what I need for you to do, you come to Zion Missionary Baptist Church. That's at 1. No, ma'am, it's not. If I may, Reverend R.V. Terry.
Okay.
In Oakdale.
In Oakdale.
Okay.
Okay? It's at Zion Missionary Baptist. Ma'am,
At what time on Monday?
5 p.m.
Okay, that's where I come get the tickets.
That's where the event is held at. But what I need for you to do before we hang up, I will need for you to leave all your information with our sound engineer, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we will see you Monday. This coming Monday.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, hey, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You take care.
Okay, you as well.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye. And that's what it's about. That is what it's about. So listening audience, we have a couple minutes left in this hour. Again, I cannot specify enough the importance of this, the National African American Involvement Day on Monday, February 10th, 2020, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., Zion Missionary Baptist Church, 1800 South Governor Street, here in Evansville. If you do not know the location, you know where Oakdale is at. So we will be there from 5 to 7. And to the winners, thank you again for participating. We look forward to meeting you. Thank you to the sponsors that is making this happen. We do know it takes time it takes effort, and it also takes money to make this happen. So again, thank you so much. So in addition to activities and opportunity to connect with others, there is so much information that will be given. There will be games, there will be resources, there will be a lot of information, but there will definitely be love in the room. And so this is what it's about, community. So again, listening audience, there is an event tomorrow at the Victory Theater, and then on Monday, coming out to celebrate the National African American Parent Involvement. Listening audience, we thank you so much. We ask that you just enjoy the rest of this day. And please listen next week. We have wonderful guests coming on talking about another community foundation that has just started up and has just truly making things happen within the community. So have a wonderful day. Be blessed. Love yourself. Love your neighbor. And have a great day. Take care.
Thank you for listening.
Okay. Thank you all so much. Thank
You
you.
did such a great job.
Oh, Miss
I am
Burton,
so
thank
excited
you.
to see
You know I love towels. I love people.
Okay.